Glass, the third movie in the M. Night Shyamalan Unbreakable trilogy, recently came out and I went and saw it last night. So, was it good or was it bad? Well, from hearing critics, from movie reviewers online, the consensus is half good, half bad. That the first half was phenomenal and amazing, and the last half stumbled and fell upon its face. And I didn't rush to judgment, though. I actually thought about the movie for quite some time before I made the review. Instead of coming out of the theater and instantly talking about it, I thought about it for several hours, slept on it, woke up this morning, finally came to my conclusion, and decided to tell you guys about it. What my decision was. And the decision was that Glass, I'm not too attached to the movie Unbreakable. Now, if you are, and you think that movie is just phenomenal, and Glass better be, it better respect Unbreakable, then you might not like this movie near the end. I'm not attached to Unbreakable in that sense. I think I've watched it maybe twice or three times. My dad loves it, and I was raised watching it. But as a kid, you with a slow character movie like that, you kind of get bored. But I liked it. It was good. There's nothing I was like, as a kid, I was like obsessed about. And so, because of that, I had no attachment to that movie. So when this movie came out, I actually thought that some of the decisions that a lot of people are ranting and raving about online, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they did that. I actually thought it was pretty smart from a standpoint. So I'm not going to give spoilers right here. I'll let you guys know when I am going to do spoilers. But overall, I would say that the movie is not as good as Split. But in comparison to like other superhero movies, it is much better than I'd say about half the Marvel movies. I would much rather watch this than Spider-Man Homecoming. I'd much rather watch this over Thor Ragnarok. I would much rather watch this over a lot of the MCU movies. So I guess that's a positive. So that's the non-spoiler section. So now spoilers ahead. Anyways, so there's your warning. So the things that people are mad about, the things people are really grinding their gears, are two twists that happen in the movie at the end. And if you've watched the movie, please tell me what you thought of these, because it'd be very interesting to know how people's different perspectives play and why they think, have that perspective, because I really didn't see any problem with it. So the first thing is that Kevin Wendell Crumb, his father, Kevin Wendell Crumb is the main host of The Horde, of the guy from Split, James McAvoy's character. His father was on the same train as David Dunn was in the first movie, Unbreakable. And Mr. Glass purposefully made it so that both men would have an effect in which they would create two superhuman beings, David Dunn and Kevin Wendell Crumb, the boy with multiple personality disorder. And I was like, that is cool. Because I was thinking, like, after Split, I was like, how are they going to connect James McAvoy's character to David Dunn? That doesn't, like, how would they do that? And I think that he did that extremely well, because I was like, now that's kind of cool. connecting them in the same circumstances. One goes bad, one goes good. They're both extremely strong. One's conflicted, one is not. Well, maybe not as conflicted. So I really like that. And for some reason, people are like, "Oh my god, that's so cheap," and I'm like, "Really?" Because I think it's really poetic. I like it. Anyways, could just be me. Again, I'm not a fan, huge fan. So probably huge fans who have speculated this for years probably was kind of ticked. So I could understand that. And then the bigger twist: all the characters die. Mr. Glass, Kevin Wendell Crumb, David Dunn. They're done. They're dead. They all die. And Mr. Glass has actually a pretty good death. My girlfriend was sitting next to me, and she actually teared up. And I looked over her, and I went, "Oh, that was really sweet." And for a villain, like, he actually had a really nice sentimental death with his mother, and I think that's really was really sweet. So, and then you have Kevin Wendell Crumb, who dies in the hands of, I think her name's Casey, the girl who was in Split, who survived. Kevin is actually the personality, he takes his own form, he's himself, and he dies with her in his arm, in her arms, and it was good. It was funny, but at the same time really sweet. So in James McAvoy's performance, and then there's David Dunn, and this is the one that's getting everyone upset. Everyone that I've listened to, everyone that I've read about, they are so mad about David Dunn's death because how he dies is he is drowned by a secret society who, by the way, kills superheroes. That's another twist in the movie. Apparently there's a secret society that kills and suppresses human people so that they can't have like gods among us type situation. So basically they're the ones killing, Mr. Glass, and well, Mr. Glass dies from Kevin Wendell Crumb because he finds out of his dad, and how Mr. Glass basically killed him. So Kevin was mad. Well, the Beast was, anyways, so he kills him, but the Secret Society kills Kevin, and they kill David Dunn. And the way they kill David Dunn is that there's a puddle in a pothole, and they suffocate him in the puddle. They just push his face in it, and they just make him drown. And I've heard so many people get mad about it. He's supposed to have superhuman strength. How is it that he's not allowed? Well, apparently in the movie they've consistently told you, as well as on Unbreakable, I believe, that his weakness that saps his strength is water, and hence the poncho. Well, the thing is that right before he's drowned, Kevin Wendell Crumb, at the time Beast, throws him into an entire pool of water. He is completely soaked from head to toe. Like, that poncho didn't help. Like, it went underneath the poncho. It went up his pants. It went into his shoes. Like, it was everywhere. So I heard people be like, "That they didn't explain that. That doesn't make sense." And I'm like, he was completely soaked in a pool of water. Anyways, like, it made perfect sense to me. So, it's a movie. It wasn't as good as I was hoping it was going to be, but I don't think it's as bad as everyone's making it out to be. I don't think it's a fantastic movie. I don't think it's a terrible movie. I think, as my title card suggests, is meh. It's okay. It's better than a lot of MCU movies, but then there's a couple MCU movies that are a lot better than Glass. And I'd much rather watch Split than Glass. But, it's interesting. It's a very different superhero movie. It's very slow, and it takes its time, but that's not a bad thing. If I was to rate this out of 10, I'd maybe give it a 7 out of 10, or 7.5 out of 10. There were problems with it, obviously. There were some really cool twists. There was good lines. The music was phenomenal. The visual camera work, the cinematography, fantastic, great. The actors were really good. There was no SJW/NPC politics in it. Fantastic, right there. That gives it an extra 2 points on my account. Like, that's what knocks it up to a 7. Like that's great. Like, thank you. Appreciate it. Like, there was this one moment where she was like, mankind, or this girl said men or mankind or something, and I was waiting for her to say women too, right? But she didn't, and I was like, oh, thank God. She wasn't going to be tedious about this, so thank God. Great. Thank you, movie. Like, I was just like, I was ready to cringe. I'm like, they're going to say it, aren't they? They're just going to have to throw it in there. And they didn't, and I was like, oh, thank you. So dumb. So it's a 7 out of 5, 7.5. Do I think you should go see it on opening night? No. Do I think you should pay full price ticket for it? No. If your theater does matinee days or matinee times, I go to those, so you get it cheaper. I do think it's worth watching in theaters because the music and the noises. I mean, there's one noise that happens in the movie. I'm not going to tell you which it is, what it is. It happens near the end when the showdown goes down. But it's Mr. Glass, and oh my God, it just when it happened, I literally got chills up my back because it just sounded so unnatural, and I did not like it. I was like, ugh, but it was so good though at the same time. So, anyways, tell me what you thought of Glass. If you've watched it and you've gone through the spoilers with me, what do you think about, how do you feel about the twists? Because I don't think that's too bad. I mean, it could be better, but it could be a lot worse. It could be like the Last Jedi twists, which totally just like gives you the finger. At least with this, it's like trying to make sense. And M. Night, it doesn't hate on his fans, so. Anyways, tell me what you thought, and I'll talk to you guys next time.